How's it going, everyone? So today we're going to go over the LightPhone 2 as an Android phone. This is going to be a tutorial based video, and I'm not going to do a lot of editing. So as it comes, it comes. And of course you need a computer, you need your LightPhone, and you need also a cable in order for all of this to work. Let me just check one thing. So essentially you can turn your LightPhone into Android. I've gone over a couple of extra things, but today I'm going to do the full tutorial so that you guys take advantage of it. And of course, Dylan has also made a link in the description below, a tutorial for Windows, a tutorial how to get root, and he explains a couple of extra things. So if you want a more step-by-step of how to do it, make sure to check that video and then come back here for how to set up your Android phone now that you have accessed the Android layer for the LightPhone 2. So essentially, first things first, let's turn off the LightPhone 2. So we're going to turn it off, and then we're going to start the process. You will need a couple of things to download in the meantime. So for example, you will need ADB download. So you go to adbdownload.com right here. And then you also need Visor if you're on Windows computer or a Mac. However, if you're on Linux, and you can also get it on Windows or on Mac, you can go to Screen Copy, SCRCPY. So Screen Copy is what I use and what I'm going to be using. But again, it's the same concept with everything else. And I'll be kind of explaining how all of these things work. So now that we have the LightPhone turned off, what we're going to do is we're going to press the power button and the volume up button at the same time to turn it on. And then we're just going to wait right there. And I'm going to speed up some of these things, so I'm sorry. So whenever you press those things, you will get a screen that says no command. So this is not a bad thing, it's a good thing actually. So then you're gonna press very lightly, just the power button and the volume up button, but you're going to release the volume up first and then the power. So we're going to press this one and this one right here, and then just like gently let them go. And it may take a couple tries for you to do it. And after you do it right in the right sequence, you will get this screen, which is essentially getting into the bootloader. Now you press down the volume down, and then you select with the power button, and essentially there you go to reboot to the bootloader. Once you reboot to the bootloader, the phone will reboot, and then you'll have access to the bootloader where most of the magic thing happens. You're gonna connect your LightPhone 2 to the computer. And after you do that, again, you can check out Dylan's video. Is going to be a little bit of a slower pace. So after you do that, you go to your terminal. And essentially this is where the fun stuff happens with the terminal. Let me resize these. So in the terminal, we're going to CD, which means you're going to go to a folder, the folder that you downloaded, the ADB download. So you're going to put it on the desktop. I will say rename it because sometimes it takes a little bit to get there. I renamed mine PT, Platform Tools. That's what you get to download. So I'm going to CD into PT, or desktop first. CD desktop, CD PT, and boom, right there, you can use it. If you're using PowerShell, as you will see on Dylan's video, you can do this very easily by just dragging into the PowerShell terminal, and it does it for you. So now that we have right there on video, now that we have the phone on bootloader mode, right, and we also have whatever we need from the platform tools, now we're going to type enable. I have a list of commands on Reddit actually, reddit.com. Let me see if I can actually find it. Okay, so I found it, and essentially I have a list with all of the commands. I'll definitely put them in the description below as well. And here you're going to type Fastboot OEM ADB enable 1. After you do that, you get an OK, and then the next thing is Fastboot reboot. So that essentially allows you to get into the LightPhone and everything else. As you see, the LightPhone is now rebooting And it's going to take a couple minutes, not minutes, just a couple seconds in order for you to get to it. So that's what essentially will happen. The iPhone will reboot. And now you have access essentially to the Android layer, or you can control it with the ADB terminal, with the PowerShell, with the ADB tools, which is what we're actually looking for. So now we're just going to wait for the iPhone to reboot, and I'm going to jump cut and get to the next part. Okay, so now that you're back into the iPhone, now that we're into the main iPhone, we're going to have to type something in to get into the settings and change a couple of the things. This is where Visor will start kind of working and things of that nature. I already have done this, but make sure to do it with Dylan step by step, because that actually helps. But if you have Visor or screen copy, this will be a little bit of an easier process. So here we're going to, I made a typo here, and we have Android settings, boom, right there. So now if I refresh this screen, now you will see Android settings. And essentially, this is manually refreshing at this point. It's not something that you can actually refresh very easily. But that's because the developer options are not yet enabled, and a couple of extra things are not yet done. So you will need to tap and refresh manually at this point, but that's why we're going to use screen copy. So we're going to use screen copy here so that the process is faster. So I'm able to showcase what's going on. So here we have screen copy. This is what's going on. If this is your first time on the Android layer, you will go to About Phone, click the build number about 7 times, then go back, enable the developer options. You will see here on, and of course you want to enable a couple of extra things like USB debugging, like how to debug apps, things of that nature. You have a couple of extra permissions, but the thing that allows everything to run better is the service menu. So you hit the service menu and boom, we're back to just regular Android device. But before we do that, actually, as you see right there, it's working a little bit better. So I'm just clicking on the phone. We're going to change the launcher. So LightOS works as a launcher, and now we're going to work on changing that. We go to apps, then we go to, and this will be easy on Visor and on screen copy, so you can do that. And if you don't have the buttons, because right now you don't have the buttons, you can use the right click in order to go back, and the left click in order to select. So right here, right click, it goes back. So you don't need the screen buttons yet, but we're going to add them with an app. So we have apps and notifications. We're going to go to advanced. We're going to go to default apps. And as you see, I have changed a couple of extra things here. You can go to the home app, and we're going to select Launcher 3. That's the one that comes as pre-packaged. So now that I go up, we're going to also select the phone app here, and we're going to change the SMS app if I can. Now after reboot, this app can start. Yes, that's fine. So now that we have everything set up, I'm going to just go back, and just manage the phone as a regular Android phone. Cancel, and we're going to just go home. Now you can go home even if you don't have the screen buttons. I know Dylan teaches you how to put them there, but if you forget how to do it, you can just go home by hitting Control H on the screen copy, and Visor has its own home buttons. But essentially what we want now is we want to download a replacement for an app store. So you're going to use this as a regular Android phone, but this has no Google, so it's no Google base, right? So we're going to go to F-Droid for better privacy, not complete privacy, but better privacy. I don't know why I didn't load there. But we have F-Droid right here, the free and open source app repository. And then the other thing that we also have is Aurora Store. So Aurora Store is a client for the Google Play Store, and you don't need this one, Aurora OSS. They have an F-Droid client that looks a little bit better. Then they have the Aurora Store, which is based on the Google Play Store. So you can download Google Play Store apps without having to give your information to Google. It's all anonymous. So we're going to download that, right? And I believe I already have, no, we're going to download it again because I didn't save the file. So we're going to save the file, go to downloads right here, and boom, right here, the Aurora store, we have it. So we have screen copy, and then we have an APK. I have the F-Droid APK, but I already installed it here. So what you would do is you essentially will drag it here so that you have an ability to install it. You can also drag it into the location for the light phone. So you can just, you know, change the charging system. Like for example, here is charging, but you can put it to transfer files. And now you have the Android here. You can go into the internal shared storage. You can put it in downloads or something else, whatever you prefer. And then you can access the APK through that. So I'm going to do that the long way. So we're going to go to Android, internal storage, download, and boom, I'm going to put it in there for the downloads. So we're going to go back to screen copy. I think it finalized. Yeah, it disconnected. We're going to do it again, screen copy, disconnected because I changed the way that the device interacts. So now, okay, I have F-Droid, right? Let's say that you have installed everything. I will say put a file manager, you know, things of that nature. And here, if you have Visor, this will be easier because with Visor, whenever you drag and drop into the phone, it installs the apps or tries to install the app automatically. But let's do a couple of extra things here and there. So for example, we go to F-Droid now, and this is where I would tell you, this is how I would configure it if I were you. So I will go to F-Droid. I just prefer that because it's open source, and I will do a couple of apps. So the first app is Virtual Soft Keys. So Virtual Soft Keys is an app that allows you to get navigation buttons without having to mess with typing code or doing different things. It's just an app that when you open it, it allows you to configure essentially the navigation buttons. You can make it disappear. You can make a couple of extra things. So right here, I just pull it up. And if I do it here with my finger, it will also do it as well. It holds 5 seconds there and then it disappears. So, you know, it's not interrupting. The next one is Key Mapper. This is if you want to use LightOS and also use the Android layer for a specific app. So let's say that you want to load a specific app. I will say load SlimLauncher. So here I'll show you SlimLauncher. I have loaded before. You have different configuration abilities here, and etc. etc. You can customize the apps about SlimLauncher. Again, this is also a open source app that you don't need anything for. So this is again another positive for the light phone. And then you start configuring here, and then you just kind of like let it go after that. So let's say that I want to use my light phone with LightOS, so the main application that it comes with, but I also want to use a specific app. AntennaPod is my preferred app for podcasts, but you want to use Spotify, right? So here, let me first download a file manager. So let me download a file manager. Let me see if we're still recording. Yes, we're still recording. Okay, I'm gonna just take, okay, so let me download a file manager. And after we have done that, let's just get file manager right here, simple file manager, yes. So let's make sure that it's open source. It was updated a week ago, so great. That's perfect. So we're going to allow it there. Again, it will ask you a couple of extra permissions here and there in order to do this, in order to do that. So make sure to just accept those in order to install from F-Droid. And there is going to be a couple of extra things here and there. It's nothing shady. It's just, again, this is an open source, but make sure to read as well. So now we have it here. We have one item in download. Oh, what do you know? Aurora store. So Aurora store, we're going to have to allow from this source. Then we go back, then we install, and boom, we have the Aurora store. I'll showcase that to you in order for you to know that you can download Google Play Store apps into this phone without having to. So right here, they give you the next, ask, allow, anonymous, and it will hopefully build it. Yep, it successfully built the API. Sometimes it doesn't. And now you have access to all of the Play Store apps without having to give your information to Google. This is also something that is good for those of you who have Android. Please don't use the Google Play Store. Sign out of your devices. Don't give information to Google and use the Aurora store. So you have Disney Plus, you have there, whatever it is. Of course, video apps will work on this phone, but they're not that great, so don't load them. So let's say people want Spotify, right? So, okay, I want Spotify or Spotify Lite. I don't know which one. I guess I'll load Lite since that's a little bit better. So Spotify Lite, since this phone doesn't have a lot of storage, right? Spotify for artists, Spotify stats. Oh, I guess I can't find it. That's fine. Let's just do regular Spotify. Spotify install, and it will download there. Again, as you see, things are happening in the Android side of things. The screen is refreshing, things are happening like that. It's not the prettiest experience, but you can make it pretty by, installing different things. You can install Before Launcher. You can install SlimLauncher, which is an open source version of kind of like Before Launcher, because those have like a dark background, and then you can install those things. You can also download the APKs from the web, and do different things like that. So we're going to allow from the source. We're going to install it. Oh. Yep. Okay, so it's installing. Again, sorry for all the mistakes and whatnot. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get this video done as a tutorial for you guys to use. And now we're going to go back. I want to set SlimLauncher. I have downloaded and installed SlimLauncher. As you see, I also have a privacy browser there from F-Droid. You can also have other privacy browsers that they're found in many different stores. You can even install Tor if you want, right? The Onion router, right? I think. I don't remember the specific name, but you can install Tor if you want. And boom, right there we have Spotify. So now you can have Spotify as a app. So, but let's say, hey, I enjoy the, okay, I'm going to delete that. Okay, I'm just going to showcase it with Spotify. So now we're going to download Keymapper. Keymapper is another app that you get on F-Droid. Make sure that you just get it there and you're able to use it. So let's say that you want to use both the let's say that you want to use both the kind of like the Android layer of things, and you also want to use the regular LightOS because you like it, because you like how the tools work, or you just prefer that instead of like having to get a lot of refreshes here and there, it's more optimized, things of that nature. Okay, so what we will do is we will create two shortcuts. So you just press plus right there, you record the triggers. So here we're going to say volume up and volume down. In sequence will open up, I don't know, any specific app. You need two, whatever you want. It can be whatever you want. You can even reconfigure the middle button right here, the home button for the light phone. You can just, it says unknown key code, but you can configure it if you so want to. And open an app and kind of cancel a couple of the functionality from LightOS. I'm not recommending you to do this, I'm just telling you this is available. So I've done this. So I've done two. Volume up and down opens SlimLauncher, and volume down and up opens settings. So we're going to go back and put our launcher, our LightOS launcher. Where is it? LightOS right here. We're going to put it as default. So we're going to make it the default app. So now all of a sudden, we're going to change the way that it works. So now, even if I go to the Android layer, as you see on screen copy, I have a couple of things here. Oh, I forgot to put the launcher. I made the phone and the text messages, but not the launcher. So we're going to go back to apps and permissions. And we're going to, as you see, the phone is not moving because we went into LightOS. Anytime that you go into LightOS, you lose functionality of the screen, and you have to go to the service menu. So that's what I want to showcase you. Right now, I'm just doing everything through screen copy just to agilize the process, and you can do this as well. But here we're going to put the default home app as LightOS. And before, actually, I forgot to turn on the shortcuts. So let's first turn on the shortcuts. I'm sorry guys if it's a little bit confusing, but I hope that you understand what I'm trying to do. It's not a step-by-step, but it's kind of like a concept-based tutorial, I would say. So let's enable this, and then we're going to enable save. We're going to enable the settings as well. So again, Now that we have it, we can go, and after we have configured that, we can go to the settings and set LightOS as our main application. So, okay, LightOS, go back to advanced, then default apps, then we have LightOS. So one of the apps that I put is SlimLauncher, and there's a reason. Oh, there it is. All right, so we got LightOS booted back up. So now that we have LightOS booted back up, now you're thinking, okay, well, how am I going to get into the Android layer? Well, first thing, you have to do it manually. So now you're going to press whatever setting you want, whatever setting you decided. First, you need to go into the settings. So let's go into the settings. So as you see, it changed on my screen copy, but I cannot see it on my LightOS because on my light phone, because unless you hit the service menu, you're not going to get any apps. So right here, you set it up, you do a manual refresh. I press right there the button. I know this by memory, so you will scroll down and you will hit System. Then you will go to Developer Options. I don't know where this one is, so by memory, so I'm just going to have screen refresh, Developer Options, and you go all the way down and you hit the service menu. And now you can use, again, the system very easily. So now that you have done that, I know it takes a long time, but this is why it's kind of like a workaround, right? Then we're going to press the shortcut for SlimLauncher. So we're going to have SlimLauncher, and boom, now I have access to all the apps that I want, or at least 5 apps, because SlimLauncher is just about 5 apps. So I have Quick SMS, F-Droid, AntennaPod, and AwesomeMan. But you can customize it, and now you can add Spotify to that. So let's say we're going to add Spotify, and then you are good to go. We're going to go back. We're going to go back again. And now you have AntennaPod, F-Droid, Quick SMS, AwesomeMan, which is a Maps application, and then Spotify. So if you want to open Spotify, now you have Spotify on your light phone too. You can listen to your playlist, listen to whatever you want. Now, this is where I will recommend you. If you're going to use this, it's just honestly a pain in the butt to start, like, messing with the controllers, going into the settings, refreshing every so often. This is for people that you may have that one app that you want, but you want LightOS. But another recommendation that I have for you is just use SlimLauncher. So use SlimLauncher, you put it as your main device. So here we're going to go into apps and notifications, advanced. This is actually something that somebody on Reddit mentioned to me, but I just wanted to kind of like showcase it to you. I don't remember the user, but thanks again. I may be able to put it in the comments. So you change all of the configuration essentially, and you're now able to use your SlimLauncher as your main launcher because it looks like LightOS. It's not perfect, but it looks like LightOS. If you do that, you don't need the remapper tool. So let's go to customize apps. We're going to remove one since this only allows for a couple of things. So here we have it. And then we can go back. And after we have gone back, now we have the key remapper. I don't need that anymore because I'm going to be using LightOS as my main tool. So we're going to disable all, and boom, right there you have back to your controllers. Whenever you use key remapper, if you don't have root, then you're not able to mess up with the volume anymore. You'll have to do it manually when the screen is off. So if the screen is off, you can mess up with the volume. If the screen is on, you cannot mess up with the volume. So that's something to consider. So essentially, this is how it works for Android on the light phone. My recommendation is just load a nice launcher like a SlimLauncher. This is from F-Droid, but you can load the Ford launcher or any of the other minimalist launchers, Indistractable. There's a bunch of options out there so that you can use your light phone the way that you want. Now, this is as of version 150, I believe. This is what we have right now. And I don't know what's going to come in the future. People have talked about that because of the Qualcomm SoC that is in the light phone right now, that it could be blocked in the future. So if you want to allow this functionality, I think there's always a way to hack into the phone and do different things, but of course, like, this is the easy way right now. It takes about 20 minutes, and you know, you can figure things out on your own. But essentially, right here we have a way to use the LightPhone in a different way. You can load all of these different applications. I'm going to just showcase one more time because I need to get into my phone again and just use it as my regular, you know, device. I'm going to put Launcher 3 because I just prefer that to do all of these things. But you know, you can use this in whichever way you want. There's different ways, there's different things that you can do also when you access some of the things in here. Like, for example, you can access more Bluetooth compatibility. You can load a browser app. I know that has been helpful to me whenever Amazon wants to send me a verification link and I don't have any way to open it. So I just do, all right, let me load a couple of things here, like Quick SMS. That's my SMS app. You can manually refresh that one, so that's actually very good. So essentially, I go into the LightPhone mode, and then I click the link with Privacy Browser. I know it's a little bit complicated for some people, but honestly, for me, it's worth it. I'm going to uninstall this. I'm going to uninstall Spotify. And kind of like a disclaimer, this is not the way that the LightPhone is supposed to be used. I mean, like, honestly, the LightPhone is not supposed to be used like this. It's supposed to be used as a regular device without, you know, all of this kind of like mumbo jumbo. But, you know, this is kind of like an extra functionality if you're into this kind of stuff. And, I mean, you don't have to use it like this. You can just use it regular, honestly, and the phone works well. But again, for those people that want that one specific app, or they want, you know, like to use Spotify, they have not quit the service or things of that nature, then this is an option as well, at least as of now. We don't know what comes in the future. They may be able to lock down a little bit more the bootloaders and things of that nature. I'm not sure, you know, all the technicalities, but again, this is just a tutorial for those of you who ask, like, okay, I have access to the Android layer. What do I do now? How do I set it up? What are some of the recommendations? Again, use Visor or Screen Copy in order to do everything seamlessly, everything quickly. And then after you have set up that, then you can use your phone in the regular modes. And it works. Like, I mean, honestly, everything works. As you see, DAVX5, that's something that they use in order to sync the contacts. That's how they sync the contacts to LightOS. But, you know, this is, again, it's an amazing piece of technology as it is. But if you want to get an extra functionality here and there, meanwhile you wait for maps or, you know, things of that nature that come into the regular system, then you can do that too. And again, this is just something to showcase that. Let me just go back to my regular mode. And I want to say, like, again, this is not how the LightPhone is supposed to be used. It's supposed to be used as a regular device, you know, with LightOS, with their system apps, with LightOS as a messaging app, and that's how it's supposed to be used. And I mean, that's how I use it personally. But a lot of people have been asking me, okay, I want to get a couple of extra functions here and there. How can I do that? And this is the way to do that. If you have any questions or anything else, let me know. If you want like a more slow down tutorial, well, you know, I don't know, you can go into Dylan, you can ask me for anything in specific, but I mean, this covers it all. Once you have uncovered the Android layer, you can customize it as much as you want, and you can live with it in whichever way you want to live with it. It's just a matter of how you want to use this system, if you want to get root, if you want to alter a couple of extra things, and hack away. For parents that may be concerned, oh, my kid can do this, it's going to be pretty obvious if they're not using LightOS. So just remember how LightOS looks, and if your kid tries to hack on it, you know, honestly, the experience on the Android layer is a lot of flashes, a lot of bugginess, or it looks like buggy. It may not be buggy, it's just like the e-ink screen is refreshing all the time. It's not a pleasant experience even for a kid, but it allows some extra functionality for those of you who definitely want, you know, to have that extra layer of, you know, tinkering and things of that nature. So thanks for watching the video. Make sure to check out the links below for Dylan's video. It's more slowed down and just focus on getting into the Android layer, and then you can come back here and like, okay, what do I load in once I am in the Android layer? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.